Okay. Pressing on to update gadgets. If show controls is true, and this is to become if R, because R is our array. Save array button. Now, what that actually I'm going to make is active equals false. And we'll see. If this works out, I'll apply it to the other as well. Oh my god, hang on a sec. Wait. Yeah, no, this is the right way round. Oh man, but I also have to show them. I have to show them. Or what do I have to do? Just because, like, log button and log table are nothing no more. How do I want to do it really? Yeah, I want to show them. And I have to. I have to show them, and I have to set them inactive. They're not being hidden. They just have no purpose at this moment. The open latest and open latest, it's actually open latest array active is true, and it's open latest array. Load array button, show, and load array. I mean, these, I shouldn't really have to say active here because close button show, close button equals true. If show add flag, add button show else, add button hide, okay. Path label show, path label arrange. That doesn't need to happen. Save. So this is a situation where I'm showing the things and there is something to save. There is an array loaded. And show button active is true. And the scale on button active is true. The load array button is shown and it is also active. Close button shown and it is. I shouldn't fuss with the load and open latest, but I'm going to anyway. Show add flag, yep. Path label, yep. Log, all this stuff goes. Path label never gets rearranged. If showing latest flag, it's open latest. So it's always shown. It's whether or not open latest array active equals false. If I'm already showing the latest, there's no point being able to click the latest. But if I'm not showing the latest, you can show the latest. Otherwise, everything gets shown. Save array button, load array button, close button, open latest array, show all button, scale 1 button, add button, path label. These two no longer exist, but what does exist is the save image button, which I'll have to go up and add. Save image button, hide. The apply button, hide. Oops. The view menu, hide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The file pause button, hide. Die, hide. The pause slider, hide. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so apply, view, file pause, pause slider, save image. So here, I gotta think. Apply button, show. If change flag equals true, apply button active equals true. Else apply button active equals false. And view menu show and view menu active equals true. What else is there? The file pause button, show and file pause button active equals true. The pause slider and save image button. And in this case, it is shown and active, and then it's on save array. Load arrays there, scale 1, show all. Slightly different order, but okay. If there is no array, there is an apply button shown and its active is false. This is false. False. Slider show active is false. You cannot save an image. Path label is shown. If show add flag, okay. That path label also active is false. So this is expanding. But okay. How am I doing? Only 10 minutes. Actually, let me think. This is now no longer load pung, this is going to be load array. This is a fair thing, and also do I just want to discard the array? I guess so. Offset. Yep, does that. Everything is null. That should work. Update matrix, yep. Material equals this. So this does not happen. This does not happen. What actually happens is a material is created, but only once the latest has been loaded. What does it say latest pung is inside the pung gadget? It says it equals dit, and it gets set in the open of here, doesn't it? Yep, after plus latest image file. So I think that array gadget latest array will equal after plus latest array file. Oops, array file. After plus latest array file. A necessary bit of setup that it will not get otherwise. So R equals array def load p. And then here I will say if R equals null. Okay. But here and here I can load R. But then I think in here, if I found out basically whether or not R has loaded, I will create the material. Because the material is more or less the same anyway. Basically what I want to do here is say R equals array def p, and actually here it is latest array. And these things, and the get log is gone, path label, yeah, that's fine, showing latest equals false. And in here I say else, no, after here I make the material. And what is the material? Orf. Material equals G material. What did I say it was? Create? Oh, come along. It was create. Width, height, flags. guess I'll say, what is it, texture flags? Yeah, this is just dynamic, and I think I'll just leave it at that. Okay. What I should do here is call another thing. And that other thing is something like update texture. Yeah, here it just says if material equals null return, and I think I'm going to go with that. Material is null return, update matrix, I think I'm going to go with that. Clean up material discard, I think I will go with that. Update texture, what have I got where? Where is show controls, update matrix, it's there. Apply settings is kind of like what I actually mean. That little red mark, I think. I don't think apply settings is what I mean, not update texture. So I'm going to go all the way back down texture and say apply settings. And this is not a thing that will ever be required. And somewhere in here I need apply settings. And it's a pretty important one. I think it will go here. And one thing is, if r equals null return, if material equals null return. However you got here, in those cases, forget it, because from here on in, it's all about R and material. Let me make myself some little notes. This bit has to create a pix map from the current array from the data in R using the current things from the project and the position slider, then write it to the materials texture. Maybe I should store the pix map. I probably should. I should just create a pix map alongside, excuse me, create a pix map here. No, I won't create it here, but I'll say field pix map equals null. Okay, equals null. And down here in load array, do this bit, but I also need to do pix equals, what is it, new pix map? Width, comma, array height, comma. Man, I think that I can get away with leaving it like that. I can't remember what I did elsewhere. Okay. So, what you might call the problem, in quotes here, is that basically I'm replicating this. I've got my array, this is me just generated the array inside data A, and from here to there is like, that's the bit I want. And do I just, what I don't really want to do is just copy that out, you know, because these are two different programs. I want them to be doing the same thing. Now, a problem with that is that they use this array. And the array is a struct, and when I pass the struct gets copied. So one problem with taking this and putting it into basically recursor classes and calling it array shader or something like that, where you give it an array, probably this you know, an array def, an instance of the array def. In fact, that's probably what it's going to be. I'm probably going to instantiate array def at the start of this as a way of creating the array. Man, it's getting a bit scrappy in here, let's face it. At the moment I've got data A. Instead of that I will have array def, I guess, because then at least I can pass the reference to array def into, you know, an array shader or whatever. But the main thing is, what else is required? Because I can send in the array def. There's the high threshold, then there's the gray. Oh, my mic. Don't know. I hope that was only a few seconds. I've basically no idea. But discussing what would have to be passed in. And a project is basically what would get passed in. It needs, you know, these things. The project and the array, basically. Gradient set, get gradient. Is there anything at all that doesn't? It's basically no. The one thing that is V. Get gradient at V. V was, what was it here all along? It was V. I should have known. I don't need current draw position. God damn it. I will will drive myself nuts one of these days just making things. I should remove current draw position immediately. Anyway. Okay. So, let me check my time. 25 minutes. I think it's very unlikely this is going to be running here. We'll soon see how my energy keeps up. Because and this, like, this is right in the thick of it. Man. I really do not like the idea. I don't like the idea of just replicating this piece of code in particular. Like, I really would rather not replicate it. I'd rather it was in recursor classes as color array. And you passed in a project to get all the project information, and you passed in an array definition just mainly to pass the array without having to duplicate it. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. It is what I am going to do. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say this does not exist now. What exists is array data. No, bloody array def of class array def equals new array def. Am I going to really come to regret that? I think possibly I am. Then it is basically ignored all the way until I get to render gradient. And here what it actually is array def data equals new unsigned int buff size. And here I will also just say array def width equals this. I'm really repeating myself so much, haven't I? And array def height equals this. And array def position equals v. And here, what I'm actually wanting to say is array def save to output directory Now, current draw position, be gone. Current draw position. Be gone. Render gradient. Okay, so now I got array def. And I can pass. So something is going to happen to time check. It's going to be... Oh man. What can I get out of goddamn color thing about... Like I can time the beginning and end of color array. I can time the beginning and end. One moment. Sorry. I can time the beginning and end of color array, a function. But it will mean that I make no distinction between the amount of time spent parsing the array and the amount of time spent colouring it, which I would quite like to know now, seeing as parsing it may get more complicated. The other thing that I need to get out of it is the average height if I don't want to parse it another time. Now, the average height might be a thing that I could pass back, like an individual bit of information pass back from the array. But I don't think that's really the way I want to do it. Well, is it? It could be, but then what's the other problem? Yeah, the other problem is how much do I want the extra information about how much time is spent doing this bit and how much time is spent doing this bit. And I think it's not that important. Either way, it's a tiny amount of time. It's like, you know, it may amount to a couple of seconds a frame for large on slow computers. So what if I do just say in recursor classes there's this thing which is called function, I'll call it paint array. Excuse me, several things, because I notice that this is a thing which I need. It's a thing I need here to return, and it's a thing which I will need in recursor. So I think that paint array will accept a pixmap as well. Paint array accepts a p, which is a project, and it accepts an a, which is an array definition, and a p, which is a pixmap. fix, return, -1, float. Average height, float equals 0.0. Average height. Okay. So, where am I and what am I doing? I'm looking for this, because this comes out there and goes in up here. This time check marks the beginning of, and I'm going to call it all parsing. I'm going to call it the parse time. The rest is the color time. So this kind of becomes nothing. This comes to here. And this all the way up to here comes out and goes in there one way or another. But in here I need to say paint array project array def pix, and then that, and I actually have to say C average height equals paint array. And here, inside paint array, I need to think about this. I don't want C average height. I want average H plus it. Oops. Similarly here, average H plus it. And here, average H plus it. Then down here, average H has to be divided by that. This has to be got rid of, and then at the end I return average H. But before that, this is P. High equals P. Oh, Daisy dog. Daisy, Daisy. Daisy, come here. Sorry, my dog lay at my feet and I just touched her with my toe and she jumped. Now I need to apologise to her. Oh no, she's gone to sit just a little bit away from me with a sigh, a huff. Never mind. Okay, now this is equal to P scale styles, and this is P scale style. This is A data length, I hope, and this is A data high point. Right, okay, a bit I forgot, and it's important. Man, well, you know, the other thing I can do here is to take that class I've got, whatever it's called, frame info, take it out of there, put it into here, take it out of render 1, put it into the cursor classes. And then it would know which bits of frame info it's got to fill in. God damn it. Okay, well, you know, that's what's going to happen. I hate it, but that is what's going to happen. Frame info, out you come. You come in here. I really don't like you as a class. I think you're rather horrible, but you go in there. And you also get passed in, which actually means some changes happen to render 1. Inside draw curve gradient. No, inside here, render gradient. This is not what happens. Paint array is called with all of that and C. And this accepts and frame info. No, it doesn't. Hurry, this accepts frame info. I'm going to have to make a frame info to pass in here for that other thing, haven't I? No, I'm really not. I'll leave it to the end here. I'll take these bits out. They're not strictly... like I'm tracking T high all the time. Then I scale it after, right? Okay. Yeah. Can I really get away with now saying just the value after scaling? In some ways, knowing the value before scaling has been valuable in the past, because oh man, knowing the value, knowing the pre-scaled value has been useful in the past in to help me judge the threshold or the exponent, and it still probably is for that. It's just that if I use this tool, changing those things will happen almost instantly anyway, and I can find out the unscaled value by just selecting unscaled, an unscaled render, and it will, well, one of the pieces of information it can tell me is that, but then I do have to get it to display that. Man. Yeah, okay, so I do have to have a frame info passed in. So actually I will just go back to doing this. So this is now, it's actually not that, it's fi. Frame info average height equals that. Frame info that. here. A dot data, A dot data, A dot data, and A dot data, and similarly, and equally, in parallel, and also this, and not to mention, not forgetting, etc., etc. Oh me, oh my. Okay, I hope that this works, and I hope it's worth it. I think it kind of will be, but... Oops, forgot one. I hope I don't do something to dramatically slow it down by changing this just in this, what seems like a fairly small way, but... A dot data, if P high threshold high equals T high minus P dot low threshold. This doesn't work. Low threshold needs bloody scaled. I'll do that right now. I say P dot low threshold times equals P dot scale value SS, and here P dot low threshold equals pow P dot low threshold to scale value at SS. Okay, this, what is your problem? Low threshold. P scale value at SS. Okay, RGBA, that's a problem, is it? Yeah, duplicate identifier. Bugger. Okay. I'd much rather. A is nice because it's short. A is nice because it's the same length as these others. A is always alpha. R is for array, I guess. Yes, I know. I've got one there. And one there. And one there. And one here. And one here. I've got one here. And one here. And one here. And one here. And one here. I've got one here. There, no, no, no. Got one here. And one here. And here. And here. And here. Here. Okay. Not to mention here. Oh. I need V. One moment. Yeah, I need V. And it's coming up to 50 minutes. and it's just another horrible little thing I need to pass in here, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. That's another thing. I have access to at all these places just fine. So I'll pass it in. Actually, it's in the array. I'm sure it is. In fact, it is. I just need to, and I have already set it there in the array definition. Position equals v. Nice. I feel like a genius, but actually it's probably pretty bad news. R position. OH and OW. So this is array width, right? And array height. I hope the pix map is to be the same size. Like if the pix map's not the same size, it'll just break. So this is for internal use only, to say the least. And this is AR data. Oh, you little gadgets, go away. This just doesn't happen anymore. And it doesn't really return nothing no more, I don't think. I think it's a void. It just updates the frame info. Project array pixmap frame info. It goes down here, does all this. Pix set argb xyc call ai plus 1, then bail. The correct parts of C get filled in. Array def now has what it needs. This is still using, must still be using data A, though this is going to be crashing. Oh man, I really hope this just doesn't I really hope this doesn't just screw it up. I mean, it really, I just don't know. Unfortunately, I've already saved. I should have saved this as render 3. That was very stupid of me. But oh well. And yeah. Array def data. Array def data. Array def data. Yeah, well, I just hope it's okay. Okay. So, paint array. In theory, the thing that's called from render and will also be from here. So, well, another thing I will have is my field frame info. I think that I'm going to compile this, and I'm going to compile it with the debugger on. Okay, wow. Identifier add log not found. Oh, hang on. Okay. Oh, okay, well. That's not good. This is really fucking bad. Like, what on earth difference did you just get? Oh, okay, right, yeah, I see where it's going to have a massive problem anyway. It's in this add log. Now stupid render is going to want add log. Where the hell is add log? Add log needs a log list. This is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Okay. Okay, these will come out of here. And they'll go into here. They'll go after main. Before render. After render update. No, after that. Before this. No. Yeah, down here. No, actually, in here. And actually that is going to be function add frame info to log fi frame info fi dot and again 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 and again. Okay, just as well I did this because it needs this and it needs these things which are part of this code anyway, so it had to happen. These are weird things anyway, and this should be a function, and I don't really need frame info to log, I just need, oh yeah, add frame info to log highest. That's just beautiful stuff. Fi frame info. Okay, so now somewhere in here there's going to be a bunch of errors because it thinks of frame info C. Okay, so this is actually add frame info to log C. And where's the next one? Add frame info T. Oh yeah, okay. Add frame info to T. Okay. Save you. Try and run yourself. Okay, so at least that compiles. I'll just have to, I'll shift it straight in, and then I'll worry about it after. I'll just remember that that has been done. So, finished. In you go, and yes, do replace that. Now, the recursor. Inside the recursor, inside the array gadget, inside apply settings, In fact, I have a frame info. And the frame info should just be frame info equals new frame info. It doesn't need to have anything in it particularly, it just needs to be there to be sent in to apply settings. And what will happen is this. I will call paint array project, comma array, comma pics, comma frame info. And then I'll say material, oops, get texture. Oh, come on now, that returns the texture. And what is it I can do with a texture? Paste pix map at 0, 0. Paste pix map pix, comma 0, 0. And that is at int and an int, yeah. Now, first I have to say array position equals what does it equal? It actually kinda in view position, I think. But then actually in apply settings, that's first off I do need to say view, oops, view position equals pause light. Now this is a bit weird, but get x or x pause or get value. What is it? Get x, yeah. It's weird, but that when I say file pause button, I set the value of that. I set the value of the pause slider, change flag to true, and update the gadgets. So then, change flag being true, apply button becomes available, apply settings is pressable, accessible. Then when apply settings is accessed, the view position takes on the slider's position, the array position takes on the view position, and the array is painted. The material texture has the pix map painted to it. And that's all I can think. That's all I can think. There is the added complication that now I need something here. Gradient editor, render options, and draw options. Why don't I have an image viewer? In GUI response view button, new image viewer. I don't keep track of whether or not the image viewer is open. And in new image viewer I must just yeah, get rid of everything. Okay. I'm just pausing to think for a moment, and I'm actually not going to get very much further just now because it's already 1 hour and 7 minutes. So I've done a pile of stuff, but I'm going to build the parts that allow me to actually open an array viewer. I'm going to build the array viewer itself, and I'm going to build the logic for allowing the draw options to remain open in the correct way and at the correct time, and for the draw options to, when required, inform the array viewer that a change has occurred and that the apply button can be pressed. And I'll do all that next time.